Today, I want to share with you an interview I had with Holly Smith. Holly is a GB show jumper, a mum, she's married, and a very dedicated businesswoman. After 10 years of the emotional struggle she went through with her body image, not something that many people would see from the outside, seeing her as a professional rider. But in here, Holly reveals how she felt then, the struggles she had, and how she feels now coming out of the other end of the 60-day program. I hope you enjoy it. Fantastic. Hi, Holly. Thanks for joining me today. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you about what you've recently been through, what you've recently finished. But before we get into that, what you've done and what you've achieved, why, because I know we've worked together before, why did you want to explore some changes for you? What was the kickstart for you to want to create change?
Well, I think I was away jumping in Spain at the time. Middle of November it was, and I actually saw a message on, not a message on your Facebook, a post on your Facebook just saying, "Are you fed?" I had a rough idea of what you were doing, and I saw a phrase that you put on there: "Are you fed up of being fed up?" And I knew it was related to diet and nutrition, and I thought, yeah, I am actually. I was living on my own in the horse box, and it's a time for a bit of self-reflection sometimes, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I thought, yeah, I am a bit fed up, and obviously because I knew you, I just thought, yeah, you said drop me a message, so I did.
Yeah.
And again, speaking to you, more self-reflection. And I thought, actually, in my professional life, I focus on everything with my horses, trying to do everything as well as I can. And I always felt that area of my life was lacking a bit, but I'd never been able to, I had a lot of information thrown at me, but I'd never been able to take a hold of it and make the changes that I wanted to make. And with your help, that's what I've been able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people from the outside will look in at someone like yourself, a professional rider, and just see that image of you on board, but they won't have any sort of insight as to how you feel about yourself physically, the emotions connected to that. So are you talking about that image you had of yourself that caused you to want to create some change physically, with the outcome of it being a benefit to your riding?
Yeah, 100%. I knew I could be doing better. Maybe some days it won't affect my results, but it was a box that I hadn't got a tick in as a professional. And on a personal level, it was something that was griping me. I had unhealthy habits related to the emotions of sports and the day-to-day life and healthy habits. I wasn't happy with the way that I looked. So it wasn't bad, not really bad, but I just wanted it to be a lot better, and had done for probably 15 years really.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm just delighted with the changes that I've made.
Yeah, well, I'm sure women listening to this will be able to, that will sort of resonate with them. Everything on the surface seems okay, but there's something niggling inside you that you've struggled to fix.
That's it. People will see my Facebook account, and all, I'm guilty. All I put on there is the wins, or the piece of clothing that I looked good in, or an owner that was happy with it, and they don't see the bad bits, the moments where you look in the mirror and you look terrible, the moments when you have a bad round, the moment when you try and put something on that you like and it doesn't fit. Nobody sees that, but we're all going through it. Maybe not everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that are, and I'm one of them.
Absolutely. And it's for women to hear that from you particularly is, and will be, inspiring to know that.
I hope so.
Something that
and you can change it. You can change it.
Absolutely. So when we first started working together, when you started with the program, what were some of your quick wins to begin with? What did you notice about yourself that was changing within the first few weeks?
First of all, by sticking to the program by the letter, I lost a lot of weight in the first couple of weeks. And actually the shift in my mentality, that I did really have to put myself first in those areas, forget everything else, just for the small bit of time that you need to make the changes. It was hard, don't get me wrong, trying to get the food prep in, make sure it was done, and eating some things that you didn't necessarily like, trying to distract yourself from snacking. The first 2 weeks, it was tough, but the thing is, I had you behind me, the accountability there, the videos, everything that helped keep me on track where I'd failed before. A lot of the information I'd had before, but the mixture of the accountability and the motivational tools is what helped me get through it. And then very quickly you see results, which to me as an athlete spurs me on. Yeah. I think it does to everybody. You need to see results to spur you on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you've been exposed to sports psychology surrounding your professional life as a rider.
Yeah.
And we've covered the psychology relating to you as a person, how you relate to yourself.
Yeah.
So what's your image of yourself now when you see yourself, when you put something on maybe, or you are away from that professional arena?
I think probably I'll speak about my image of myself before. That's sort of more helpful to me. And that was that even like when I'd had a good result, I'd then see a video of myself riding or a picture of myself in a presentation. Yeah. I'd feel like a bit of an imposter. Yeah. So I was thinking, I know I'd maybe had a rubbish breakfast, or the night before got a bit lonely because I'm on my own a lot at the shows, or a bit down because I'd had a bad day and had a great big Chinese or something. Yeah. And I'd look at myself and think, God, you were lucky there, and look at the state of you, and your horses helped you out, and you're not looking how you should.
Absolutely.
And actually now I can look in the mirror and I know, even if I've had a bad day, that I've fueled everything properly. I'm in a good physical state. You know, I will be better again the next day. It's a massive prop behind me almost. Absolutely. I know that all the foundations are there.
Absolutely. So we've got a photo. Let me share this photo. All right. So this photo of you.
Yeah.
Is this one of those times where you were hiding how you actually felt about yourself? How were you feeling in this moment?
Well, no, not at the time, because you're distracted. We just won the Aga Khan, the Nations Cup in Dublin as a team. Yeah. You know, one of the greatest achievements of my career. And then afterwards that night, I'll see a picture like that, and I just think, oh man, you've got Scott and Ben and Emily there, and I'm thinking, God, I'm the heaviest one out of the lot, and I'm a woman, and you should look better. Yeah. And what an amazing horse you've got, you know, and maybe it'd be better without me looking like that. You know, they're trying harder, doing better. Then, you know, you start really putting yourself down. Yeah. I do. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking when I look at that. Not well done, Holly, you've won the Aga Khan.
But that's an emotion that we all feel, because I say all, myself included, that we are very self-critical.
Yeah, and you know, if I'd have seen that and I knew I'd been doing everything right for months before, maybe I'd just think, oh, maybe that's not the best picture of you. But when I knew there was when I know there's unhealthy habits behind it, that's what gives me a real kick in the teeth. Yeah. I can handle a bad result or a bad picture if I know that all the effort's been there. Yeah. But when I knew there was unhealthy habits behind it, that's what gripes me.
Yeah. So if we take a step away from your professional life, from you as a businesswoman and a professional rider, and the ripple effect has got to mean something. And what I mean by that is that doing something to change yourself has to have a benefit for those you love and care for the most. So have you noticed a ripple effect that goes on to your daughter, let's say? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's slow and steady. I'm not going to deny it. All of a sudden, I've changed what I'm doing. And I think some of the closest to you are often the first ones to resist a bit. Like, what are you doing that for? You're fine as you were. You know, we don't want anything to do with that. And then I have just noticed when I've been food prepping and stuff like that, now she's all of a sudden just asking. You know, Rosie's 10. She's a really fussy age. I think most mums know that you know, children can be a nightmare. And love her to bits, but with food, she turned into a little bit of a nightmare. And now she's all of a sudden starting just to ask to try things. You know, the other day I was cutting up some avocado and she said, "Oh, can I try a bit of that?" I thought, oh my God, I didn't say that. Yes, of course you can, sweetheart. I was thinking in my head, oh my God, really? And, you know, I made some healthy flapjacks. They are full of aubergine and carrots and stuff like that. And she tried a piece of that. And she's like, oh yeah, that's nice. And I was thinking, oh God, we're really like, as I say, it's been slow and steady, but that's what life is, isn't it? Most of the time, it's slow and steady progress. And just to see her turning that corner a bit with me, you know, leading the way, it's a great feeling.
Absolutely. And that is priceless, that, because you're setting her up at that age to take on the habits that you're helping her create into later life.
And even though it's later in the program that we've done, but with the exercises as well, she's seen me doing my circuits and my running, and you know, first of all they're like, oh God, what are you doing? I could never do that, I'm not interested. And then all of a sudden she's done a couple of sessions with me. Yeah, really pleased with that.
That's fantastic. That really is great. So this extends, let's go back to your professional life, because this not only extends as you being a role model for your daughter, but as a role model for other riders. So it doesn't matter what level you ride at, whether you're riding at international level or whether it doesn't matter.
No.
The role model that you show others, they will want to replicate what you do. So how do you think people see you now as a rider, achieving not just the accolades from the competition and wearing the GB jacket, but being happy in yourself and saying, I wasn't happy, but now I am much happier with myself? How do you want that to influence others?
Yeah, so I feel privileged to be in the position to offer that, because actually elite sport is very, very selfish a lot of the time. And like it's quite hard for me to do, actually, and I'm sure I might get ridiculed by a few people for doing it. You know, that is how life is. But then actually, to me, like, the changes I've made is so important to me personally, and I feel if I can just share that with a few other people, and maybe it passes on to a few other people from then I'm really, really happy. If it's something that I can do in the position that I'm in, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's being able to give back, isn't it? A little more.
Yeah. There's more to life than just a few results. Obviously, that's overwhelmingly like what I have to focus on. Yeah. But sometimes there's a little bit missing when you're just focusing on all of that. And, you know, I do really believe in this program for what it's done for me. Yeah. If it can do the same for a few others, then it's worth it.
Absolutely. So that then extends on to the responsibility you have to owners of the horses that you ride.
Yep.
So,
and the horses themselves.
Yeah, yeah, because riders generally will prepare their horses to the best possible standard.
Yeah.
So now you've prepared yourself also to the best possible standard.
Yeah. See, I'm on a program, a lottery-funded program, the World Class program, and it's very, it's structured. It's split a bit, your sports psychology, your saddle fitters, your equine physios, your human physios, your nutritionist, everything. And you've got to to have my best level performance I possibly can on the day, there's got to be a tick in every box. Yeah. But I was struggling to get a tick in a few of those boxes. I just couldn't do it. Yeah. And that's what I've been able to achieve.
Yeah. So give us an idea as to where you were. You mentioned about weight.
Yeah.
And a lot of women will be able to relate to weight as a thing, as a measure.
Yeah.
So what was your weight before we started working together?
Yeah, I'm not, because I was away when I started, I'm not 100% sure, but about between 70 and 72 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where are you now?
Between 62 and 63.
Okay, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just the end result, isn't it? But it gives people an indication as to what the end result is and how you create that along the way.
Yeah.
With what you've done.
Yeah. I'm overwhelmed by it, to be honest. Even now, I do a lot of my exercises with that weight on my back, just to make the exercises more effective. And the difference to the horses must be massive.
Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about in terms of taking your performance to the next level. And it doesn't matter whether you're at 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 5-star.
No.
Doesn't matter, because your performance will affect the horse's ability to perform at its best.
Yes, correct.
So do you see yourself able to continue this way of eating, this way of living your life in order to maintain those results you've got, as well as the emotional connection, positive connection?
Yeah, 100%. I'm committed to it. I wouldn't I'm not going to lie and say I'm not worried, because I've lived 31 years of my life not being so great at it, so it's human to have worries, isn't it? But I think the program again has set me up for the ups and downs of that. I've not been perfect by any means. We're human, we make mistakes, but it's being able to get straight back on track again without demoralizing myself, and I feel confident in the sort of pathways that we've been able to develop together. Fantastic.
That's amazing. It has been a real privilege working with you. We've worked together before, and it's great that we've come back together again, and I'm sure we'll continue on from here, communicating and keeping you going. If there was anything that you would want to share with any woman who was or is in the position you were in back then, what would you say?
I felt it. I knew where I wanted to be. I think you must be honest with yourself, and just reach out a bit. Speak to, call you, basically. Just reach out, give it a go. It's not got to change, but if you deep down are honest with yourself and you really want it to change, it's the same with anything. You've got to really want it. It is possible. It is possible. I've struggled for so long with this, and I'm still gobsmacked I've been able to make the change after struggling for so long, but it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Fantastic. Great to hear. Thanks, Holly, for your time today. I know you're very busy. So thanks for your time, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.